Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. Today I am going to show you my Azure haul from November 1st. I actually picked this up when I was really sick, and so I recorded, but I didn't do a voiceover or anything. So I wanted to show you that, but one of the big things I got in this haul was ingredients to make my hot cocoa mix. And so I'm going to be showing you how I do that. I have another video on that as well from like a year or so ago. But I thought it was worth showing again. We're starting to cool down here and it is time for some hot cocoa. And I use some different ingredients, and it's a dairy-free, gluten-free, and absolutely delicious. It is so good. You cannot tell it's dairy-free. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to show you the Azure haul, and then I will show you the recipe on how to make this delicious hot cocoa. Okay, so this order is going to be short and sweet. It is a repack box. Everything I ordered fits in one box. That's what a repack box is. So on your order, it'll show you how many boxes you are getting in. As soon as I opened this, I realized I got a couple things that I didn't get charged for. So one of these molasses, this is one of them, and then I got a black strap. One of them I didn't get charged for, as well as this coconut oil. Both are things that I can use. I love this coconut oil, and I actually wanted the molasses. It just said it wasn't going to ship. I'm planning on doing Christmas baking and making my own brown sugar with both of those molasses and trying that out. So I'm super excited about that. I got my bread flour that I use to feed my sourdough starter. I needed some more of that, so I only got 10 pounds at this point. And then I got my coconut cream powder. I got 5 pounds of this. I love this for my hot cocoa mix, but also for a dairy-free powder creamer. The next two things I got are beans. So I got black-eyed peas and I got pinto beans. One's for black-eyed peas, the dish with the ham hock, and the other ones is just to make some beans because we love that. And that's our haul. Let's get to making this hot cocoa. Okay, so the first ingredient we're adding is 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and it's fine ground. I put that in first because it doesn't completely go through the mesh because it's not all small enough to, and it's going to help break down everything else and help push it through. The second ingredient I'm popping in is my arrowroot powder, and I'm doing 1.5 teaspoons of arrowroot powder. This helps thicken the drink once it's made and you've added your water. It also helps stop clumping and things like that from happening within the mix. So both of those things are important, but it really does give that little extra thickness, the viscosity that a regular hot cocoa mix has. And then this ingredient that I'm putting in right now and working on is 2 1/3 cups coconut cream. And this one is probably the hardest thing to sift because it has a high fat content. So it kind of, I don't want to say it gums up, but it just doesn't go through smoothly like the powder, the regular powders, the cacao powder and the powdered sugar and the arrowroot powder and all that. It doesn't just sift super easily. It kind of has that little bit of residue. It's silkier, creamier, whatever. I get this from Azure Standard, as you saw from the haul, and this stuff has been a game changer for me. So the salt is a big deal to have it in there for this because it's going to help push it through. And then once you've worked it enough down, while there's still some inside there, adding in some of the cacao powder, which you'll see me do in a few minutes, is also helpful. Adding something else that's going to, that fat is going to latch onto or whatever. It's this step though, don't skip it because coconut cream is pretty clumpy. And if you don't break down those clumps and turn it into the powder, then and sift it through, then you're going to have large clumps that take longer to dissolve through. So it's a really important step that you do not want to miss. The next ingredient is 1¼ cup of cacao powder. You could use cocoa powder if you want to. There is a reason why I'm using cacao powder. The sugar levels, the health benefits, the all the things that go with it are much more beneficial to my husband and I as a cacao powder versus cocoa powder. So if you want a little bit more information on that, I share a brief little blurb about that on my blog where I have this recipe. I will have that linked down below in the description of the video. It's just up on the blog for free for you to access this recipe. And it is cacao makes a big difference, and I find myself, if I'm craving chocolate, most of the time this is going to curb that. It's not super sweet, and it has these healthier benefits to it, which is great. After you get your cacao powder, which you can see how much easier that is sifting through than the coconut cream was, then we're going to move on to 2 cups of powdered sugar and sift that. Now, I normally get my powdered sugar through Azure Standard as well, but they were out this last time, and so I couldn't order it when I ordered the coconut cream. And I picked up some powdered sugar from a local store, Aiken's, and I'm going ahead and sifting that in. Now, I don't like the texture of this one as much, but it is what it is. I'm partial to the Azure Standard one. I really like that one. All these other dry ingredients, not the coconut cream, could probably go through a regular sifter, but that coconut cream really needs to go through something like this to really work through, or it'll gum up the other sifters. So this process took a good 15-20 minutes for me to sit here and sift all the ingredients through this. And then I just dump the salt that's left in there into the bowl. And we are going to gently combine this, making sure all the ingredients, every cup of hot cocoa is evenly distributed through and has the same flavors, and just really working that through. When I think I'm done, I always lift it up and I double check the bottom of the bowl and make sure I haven't missed anything. A clear bowl is very helpful for this. Because it would really stink if you start packaging it and you realize you have a bunch of one ingredient in one spot. So I'm just putting this in a 1/2 gallon mason jar, and I'm using a funnel on top to help me not spill. And then I will store a measuring cup that's a 1/3 cup measuring cup in the jar, and that's just what we'll scoop out with. And it is super delicious. I'm super excited to have this back on hand. It's been a while since we've had it. Now, if stuff came out of your bowl or didn't sift well, your thickest, heaviest stuff is going to be at the bottom. So if you're gifting it, this part that I'm pouring in right here, I would not pour in. I would just make that in a cup of hot cocoa for yourself, and then gift the well sifted stuff. So just as a heads up, if anything that didn't sift through well or fell out of the sifter will be heavier and will work its way to the bottom of the bowl as you were working it. I grabbed my cup of hot coffee, my decaf, and I'm putting in some 1/3 of a cup of the mixture into my coffee, and I'm just going to stir it in and let it dissolve. Now again, this part I scooped was that bottom of the bowl stuff, and I knew I had a few pieces escape. And you just stir until everything's dissolved. Almost everything dissolves super quickly. If you have any bigger clumps of that coconut cream, you will see it right here. And it will take a little bit longer for that to dissolve. Just keep stirring and it will work through. And it is so worth it. I am so excited to drink my little mocha. And just like that, our hot cocoa is done. Well, I should say my mocha. because I put this in coffee. So you put it in a couple things you can do with this. So it's a dairy-free mix, and you can put it in water. You could put it into warm milk if you wanted to, which would stop it from being dairy-free. The other thing you can do is put it in coffee. Another thing you can absolutely try is, if you want a peppermint hot cocoa, is to brew peppermint tea and then take your tea bag out and put your mix in. And then you're making it with a pepperminty water, basically. And you'll have a peppermint hot cocoa. I would not do like mint medley or anything like that. I would do a legit peppermint flavor if that's what you're going for. But it's super good. I'm so excited about it. What's great is, I think I probably went over some of this, but having the cacao powder instead of cocoa powder helps with certain nutrients. I usually, the arrowroot powder helps with the texture, like getting it the thickness, the viscosity of hot cocoa that it normally has. And the salt just gives it that extra, brings out the little bit of sweetness, a little bit of extra chocolatey. Salt actually complements sweetness and brings it out. So super good. You can make this up ahead of time. It's about 1/3 cup that you need for each cup. So even if you wanted to make a batch and give this as a goodie to somebody who's dairy free, you can get like those snack bags or whatever, put 1/3 cup in there, tie it up, and have some instructions or ingredients on it so they know. But yeah, it makes about 1/2 gallon, and all you need is 1/3 cup per cup, and it's delicious. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the Azure haul, and our next one is like next week. So you should be seeing one again sometime after Thanksgiving. But we thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.